What's up guys, this is Yasin, and we just got a 4th Dominus card by the name of Dominus Spiral. Very interesting one coming out in Doom of Dimensions. And honestly, so far, every Dominus card has been good. You know, Dominus Purge, pretty good in Blue Eyes, really good in Yummy, and also it can play songs at the Dominators. Obviously, Dominus Impulse has been the best one so far, so will this card be even better than Dominus Impulse? Hey look, we never know. Anyways, I will be going over this card right here in, it's not gonna be like super in-depth, but I will obviously be going over this card again in the near future. However, before we go any further, I would like to give a massive shoutouts to Emmanuel Eclair Gayford. If you're watching this, shoutouts to you as well as a happy birthday. I really hope you have a fantastic one, and with that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so normal trap card, you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn, so if your opponent activated a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, this is the trend of the K9 cards, right? So you really punish your opponent for either hand trapping you or using a deck that utilizes effects in the hand or graveyard. So Yummy is going to be unaffected by this because they don't care. So yeah, you can activate this card from your hand only in this situation. Otherwise, you pretty much have to like set it and then flip it on your opponent's turn. So, or I guess in your own turn as well. Target one monster your opponent controls and then either return it to the hand or extra deck. So if it's an extra deck monster, then if you have no traps in your grave, your opponent can special summon a monster from their grave. And then if you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate light and dark monster effects for the rest of this duel. This is like a hybrid of Dominus Purge and Impulse in terms of drawback. And it also has like a more unique drawback in the sense where if you have no traps in your grave, your opponent gets a bonus monster reborn, which is not something that you ever want to give to your opponent. So quite clearly, the goal of this card is to like search it off of Songs of the Dominators so that you can bounce back something and then not give your opponent anything. However, the fact that you will not be able to use light and dark monster effects for the rest of the duel is definitely really painful, because it means that most decks cannot really use this card, because light and dark monsters are pretty much the best monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Most of the time. Obviously, there are some decks that are completely unaffected. I'm looking at decks like Mermail that will be able to play Dominus Impulse with Songs of the Dominator. No, actually, probably not. Yeah, probably not, because you do need monster effects in the hand until the end of the next turn. I kind of forgot. It's not gonna work too well. It's a really nasty drawback, but there are a couple of decks that will not really care about this drawback too much. Like I said, Mermail is one of them. It's just that it's really hard to like have a trap card in the graveyard preemptively. Obviously, there's like Dominus Impulse, there's Imperm. So I guess the goal of like these kinds of cards is to like combine them with other like hand trap cards, so that you get like the bonus effects of the Dominus cards, or you don't get their drawbacks. You do not lose to like Call by the Grave, Triple Tactic Talent, etc. And usually you're not going to be losing to Cross Out Designator either. So I have no idea if like this is something that Konami was thinking about when they designed this card, because preferably I want those cards, like the anti-hand trap cards, to get banned. And it would be nice if like every hand trap in the game was like super specific, that you can't like, not everybody can play them. Like, I think this, for example, is the kind of a hand trap that deserves to exist. It's not like Ash, the Chummies, and Drool, where everybody can and probably should play them, either in the main deck or side deck, otherwise you have a huge, massive disadvantage. These kinds of cards, it really makes your deck kind of stand out. It feels like it's more unique, because it's not like you're always going to be seeing like a deck that can play a Dominus card. Like, some decks can play 0 Dominus cards, and then some other decks can play 1 or 2, and sometimes even 3. Like, obviously, the Eldritch deck can play every single Dominus card in the game. This is one of them, because they can afford to use 0 light and dark monster effects until the end of the duel, like, no problem, because they can just win with their trap cards. You know, obviously, except for, like, the in-hand and engrave effect of Eldritch the Golden Lord, and also the Eldritch Contact Fusion monster, you don't really feel like you're missing out on anything. But yeah, this is a compulsory evacuation device hand trap, which is, on paper, ridiculously overpowered. Like, being able to bounce back a monster to the hand or extra deck, this could be pretty much almost a turn skip, and also it can be used as a board breaker as well, which is ridiculously insane, and you can use it at any moment. So if it's the kind of thing that doesn't hurt you, it's going to hurt the opponent, like, remarkably, like, a lot. Like, it's one heck of a card, obviously. I think a lot of people they kind of have, like, mixed feelings about it. Like, a lot of people are saying this card is not broken, but it is an option, and it is probably a good card. I think it's the kind of card that, on release, it's not necessarily going to be seeing too much hype, but you should probably own 3 copies of this card, because at any moment, we never know when there will be a deck that will be, you know, able to play a lot of trap cards on turn 0, and then make this card live so that you do not give a monster reborn to your opponent. And also, if you don't care about light and dark monster effects, like, obviously, if you're playing a deck like Dragon Ruler, then maybe you don't care. I guess this is not necessarily the best example, but Tenpai Dragon, you only really care about fire effects, so if you can play Tenpai, with Dominus Impulse, Imperm, and Discard, this will have like a relatively high likelihood of being able to, you know, trigger. But the cool thing about Dominus Spiral is that, again, it's a Dominus card, so it's searchable by Songs of the Dominators, which means that if you can, like, Imperm your opponent, and then Songs of the Dominators, you can search this, and then use it either as a board breaker or as an extra hand shop, and then you're giving nothing to your opponent, while also, you know, being able to just still play the game because you only use fire effects. I can see a lot of decks being able to just randomly utilize this card. Not that many, but the decks that will be able to play this card will get a massive boost from this card. So that's what I think about Dominus Spiral. It's a fantastic card in the right context, but there will not be a lot of context for this card to be good. It's very niche. But anyways, that's all I had for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know how you feel about the Dominus Spiral in the comment section below. Do you think it's going to be a broken card? Do you think it's going to be kind of like a niche card or like a mid card or even garbage? I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.